Matt, it's great talking to you. You've had some time to sit back and relax. How are you feeling this morning?
Man, just overwhelming sense of gratitude. I got to play one of the biggest games that there is, and man, I'm so thankful. I'm a small town guy. I really am a normal guy. I was working a normal job before coming here. I'm not like a influencer model like thing. I really have a modest life. So this my first time in LA was literally to come and play
Wow.
this game, and so I'm just like, how did I get so lucky and to be here? So I'm so thankful I got to do it.
Have you gotten to speak to your mother? How is she doing?
I have not, but
Oh,
man, it is the number one thing I'm excited to do. I hope she's doing
yeah.
good. I hope she's proud, and I know that she is just in awe that I got to do this as I am.
Now she used to be a Big Brother fan before she watched the USA version, right? Did she watch Big Brother Pinoy?
So yeah, so she did, and then also when she came here in '93, Julie was the only public figure who was an Asian representative that she had, and my mom watched Julie to as a representation, also to help her with her English. So, man, to get and sit and have a moment with Julie, the fact
Oh.
she let me do the whole "love yourself" together, I was like, let's go. So that was super cool, and that meant a lot to me and also my family. Yeah.
Yeah. Now, obviously, you and Angela had a rocky relationship in the house. When did you realize that things you weren't gelling, you guys weren't hitting it off?
Yeah, probably when she came down the stairs and told me I'm ugly, dumb, aggressive, and my mom raised me poorly. So,
Yeah.
yeah, that probably in that moment.
Now, from now this all sparked because, well, according to her, this sparked because of your one-on-one in the HOH room. Now, I've seen it, watched it. A number of people have seen this, and we don't see this as being aggressive. How did you feel your tone was at the time and the message you were relaying? Because it seemed like when you said, "Hey, well, if you put me up, I'll put if you put me up, I'll put you up." That's par for the course for Big Brother, and you were just
Sure.
casually chatting. How did you feel your message got across at the time?
Yeah, well, John, even if you say that means a lot because,
Yeah,
I continually would be like, for me as a man to be accused of being aggressive towards a woman is a serious deal, and it's
yeah,
serious for me. And if true, I need to be held accountable and I need to learn and grow.
right.
And when sitting in my second conversation with Angela, for her to say that, oh, maybe passionate is a better word,
Yes,
I was like, those are not synonymous words
uh,
by any means, especially in terms of how they relate to how a man talks to a woman, of which
right,
parents have raised me correctly in order to do so.
right.
And so I can own being passionate. I'm sure you could leave this conversation say Matt is a passionate speaking
Sure.
individual,
Yeah.
but aggressive is not synonymous with passionate. And so again, I tried to tell people around the house, hey, I was a professional communicator for multiple years. I've spoken in front of thousands of people.
Right.
I'm I know how I control my tone.
Yeah.
I know the impact of my words. I'm not a typical 25-year-old that's figuring that out in real time.
Yeah.
Um, I have communicated multiple times in front of large amounts of people. I understand what I'm saying and how I'm saying it. And so I told Angela that I will not own that I was aggressive to her. I
Right.
will not. And even looking back, I'm like, I'm excited to watch it and know, like, I want to make sure. I had a conversation with, I think, Lisa, where I was like, and it wasn't even on topic, but it just made me insecure in sense to say, Lisa, like, do you feel like there's any way I could have communicated better to you? Like, did you feel safe? If not, can you tell me how? Because I
Right.
never want that to be true about me. And so even if you say that as healing, and I really do hope that that was what was shown true.
Did she, before the big blow up, did she speak privately if she had an issue about this? Did she bring it up to you at all?
I wish, because
Right.
we would have not had that situation. And I
Yeah.
think everybody in the house, every person in the house had came to me regardless of their vote and said,
Yeah.
I do not agree with what she did.
Yeah. Well,
And
Kenny was really big in your corner. I mean, he came to you right afterwards and he was, trying to comfort you and help you as much as he could. I mean, it was nice to see that.
oh my goodness. I mean, that meant the world to me.
Right.
And I think, you know, a lot of people did that, but a lot of people are also protecting their game. For Kenny to come and say, screw the game, and to
Right.
come and say, like, I look at you as like a son. And then for him to play out and him even ponder, should I just follow my sword? And to
Right.
say, like, Matt is the best person to continue to play this game because he's good at it. He's got a lot of potential. He's got a lot of life, you know, ahead of him. For him to even say that, but him to be there in that moment, that meant the world to me because my family means everything to me. So to
Yeah.
have a fatherly figure put his arm around me like that in that moment, you know, that was a powerful, powerful moment for me.
Yeah. Now you've had a short time to be out of the game now, and you've been able to look back. What are your feelings towards, or as maybe as a person and a player? How do you feel right now?
Yeah, you know, I've said it, and I've communicated this multiple times. If there ever is a time where I down talk Angela, or I choose to not forgive Angela,
Yeah.
I give all of BB Nation the ability to come for me,
Right.
because you will never hear that. It is not how Matt Hardeman has chosen to live his life. It's not how I was raised. I've said it multiple times. I've signed my life up for 70 times 7. I will forgive her over and over and over because that's how I've chosen to live my life. And so I forgive. It was important for me, whether the vote went towards me or not, that I apologize. I forgave her in front of everybody.
Yeah.
And it was important to me that if I stood and sat with Julie, which I ended up doing, that I would forgive her publicly again as well. And I will continually do so, whether she thinks she deserves it or that's been merited or not. I
Yeah.
can only control what I can control. And I am focused on my lane and who I want to be in my life. And that is to forgive.
Yeah. Well, you did say so. You were going to forgive her in the house to numerous people, and you did follow through on that. So, um, why do you think? I mean, she had a confrontation with you. She had a confrontation with Kenny. She had a confrontation with Lisa. Um, why do you think this is going on? What do you like? You've been able to stand. You're a part of it, but then you were able to stand back and watch her interactions with other people. What do you think is going on here?
I genuinely don't know because, you know, along with that, John, she also had a confrontation with Joseph, who she's been working with. She had a confrontation with Kenny. Like there's a point where people were like, "Hey, man, if we just were to vote based off of like explosions, you would
Right.
be safe just out of the people she's from a decimal perspective, like
Right.
yelled at." And so that did not end up being the case, but I do think like maybe she's become such a target and you know pitch herself in such a way that people are like, maybe we should just keep her here because I don't know if anybody's going to want to work with her to some extent. So I'm looking at this like I have no idea what's going on. I mean, genuinely, there hit a point where I was concerned for her just as a human being.
Right.
Um, and if there was anything I could have done to get her back to a place where we could have just played, even despite what she had done to me, I would have
Right.
done it, you know. But I do not know what's going on because you know me, Lisa, Kenny, Joseph. There's multiple people at this point, bodies, people catching stray, Mackenzie, like
Yeah.
everybody that's getting winged out here. I couldn't have played the game that way if it was me.
Now, give me. I got one final question for you here. Now, you and Mackenzie really hit it off. So, what do you see in the future for you two? And what about what do you plan on doing after Big Brother? What are some of your plans?
Yeah, thanks for asking. Nobody's asked that yet. They're like, your life's done. But you know, I don't think
Far from
that.
it.
Right. I hope not. I don't think that me and Mackenzie's story is over yet. You know, I think at the end, you know, whispered in her, and I'm glad we got to have that moment that I was like, hey, I'll come find you when you're out. And then we'll continue to wrestle it to the ground. My biggest fear in the game in terms of our situation, you know, our potential, you know, whatever, was that I didn't want there to be pressure because
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
will compromise the authenticity of it. And
Right.
so that's even why I went and communicated what I did to Angela in the first place was like, this is somebody like, yeah, I think Mackenzie's gorgeous. And I think her personality is incredible and the way
Yeah.
she carries herself and her story and how she views things, like all things I would be looking for. And I hope she would say the same, but to navigate that is still complex and we don't need any more complexity as a
Right.
marriage watching it. in terms of the pressure. So I just wanted to hope that we could have a genuine navigation of that within the house. But I don't think our story's over, and I'll find her when she's out, and we'll continue to figure it out together, and I'll be waiting. So what I hope to do, what I hoped to display even before the situation with Angela happened, that
Right.
so much of the work I've done in my personal life, even as of this year, has been to, as a man, understand how my masculinity interacts with my emotions. And that
Right.
was modeled for me. I was not modeled as a man to even have the vocabulary to talk about what I feel.
Right.
And I would sit many times in my younger days knowing I feel something, but all I've got is like happy, angry, and sad. I don't even know how to talk about it. And so
Right. Yeah.
I would never have changed, even though the demise of my game fell on communicating what I felt to Angela.
Yeah.
I never would have changed that, because in my real life, that is really where I'm at. I'm trying to exercise that and learn that. And I've been through a lot of really difficult relational things, even at the beginning of this year, that I had to learn. Like, I needed counseling. I needed to talk about what I was feeling. I needed
Yeah.
other guys to talk about it with. I needed other women to talk about it with. I needed people to talk about it with. And so I think I would play Big Brother better in a different season of my life. But where I'm at, that is where I'm at. And so I want to be a representation of men to know how to have the ability to communicate what they feel and to how to increase their EQ. So I am a 25-year-old. I don't have everything figured out. Maybe I'll have to connect with you after this, because I do hope to start a podcast to talk about that exact thing. I'm figuring out a lot in my 20s, and I'm figuring it out in real time. So I want to create a resource to help 20-year-olds, 30-year-olds navigate things that people aren't modeling for you and setting up for you. Dating, relationships, intelligence, how to deal with conflict, how to find friends, and
Yeah.
how to build community, and how to look at certain things a certain way. I don't have those things figured out, and I've never tried to act like I do, but I'm figuring them out in real time. I hope playing this game, I'd be a good model of that as a young man who is learning how to communicate that. So that is, I hope to create that resource here in the next season of my life.
Well, I commend you for recognizing that. And let me give some advice to you that we're always learning. We're always growing.
Sure.
And if you stop learning and growing, you stop evolving as a person. So kudos to you for recognizing that and facing that. And all the best of luck to you in the future. Can't wait to see you at the finale, and take care and all that.
I agree. The day you stop learning is the day you start dying. I'm right there with you. Thanks, John. I appreciate it. Nice to meet you.
Yeah, take care. Have a great day.
You too.